Now, Wesson are making waves on the internet and beyond. CDs are plenty going out the door as a growing fan base are getting used to their music, and they've been popping up on people's timelines across the UK. I'm joined by three of their number now to tell us more about the music. Hi, boys, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi, good, thank
Hey,
you.
hey
Yeah,
Jason.
good, thank you.
So we've got the glamorous side of things, haven't we, with you three?
That's right.
We like to think so.
For sure.
So give us the lineup and tell us who's found better things to do than talk to me.
Okay, so from, I suppose is that your left or your right? Because
By the time the internet's finished with it, I've no idea. That's my right at the moment, but it might be left.
this is Dale, who's our
Hello.
drummer, backing vocal, songwriter. I'm Chris. I'm a songwriter, singer, guitarist. Dale, that's Dale.
Dale again.
Another Dale. This is Callum. Callum is the bass player, one of the producers in the band, singer, multi-talented basically.
He's
And
double-barreled and everything, isn't he, Callum?
he's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, afraid so.
It's a big show up.
So how
And
long have
then
you boys been playing together?
it was
Like 4 years.
4.5 years because it'd
4.5
be
years. Wow.
it was August 2020, right? The
Yeah.
beginning, or like September 2020. So it'll be like, yeah, almost 5 years some point this year.
Yeah, so we're like a lockdown band, I guess.
But you knew each other before all of this and had been in previous incarnations of different bands?
Yeah, well, you've always been in bands, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, not any bands together.
Hmm.
But we kind of all knew each other. Well, Chris is really like the center point of the whole story. Like he knew Jimmy first, and then you met Callum, and then you met me, and then you kind of pulled everything together.
Yeah, I met them. I was doing lots of open mic nights about in Milton Keynes where we're from. There was quite a healthy open mic night circuit for a while, and about almost 10 years ago I met you, wasn't it?
Must have been, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then Jimmy was about the same, and then Dale's probably a little bit more recent,
Mm,
Dale. But Dale used to host a jam night at MK11, didn't you? It's a
yeah,
local venue. Yeah.
yeah. So we all met just kind of like
Yeah.
on the
On the
on the
scene, really,
circuit, on the
just bumped
scene.
into you. And if you know, for me, it was like I knew one day I'd want to put a band together, so I was sort of trying to meet as many musicians as possible. And then I
And these are the ones you
found,
chose.
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Scraping the bottom of the
Slim
barrel.
pickings around here.
Okay, so Dale, what's it like working with the rest of the gang? Because as drummer and literally backing vocal, because you'll be at the back of the stage the whole time, you can see him from an unusual angle that nobody else does.
Yeah, yeah, the rear angle. It's my favorite, especially for these guys. No, yeah, like they're amazing. Like I couldn't be luckier to be involved with them. I'm not joking. They're all fantastic, and they all bring, something different to the table, which I think just makes an amazing band ultimately. So they're very lucky
Oh,
and privileged.
thanks, Dale. I've never heard him say that before, so that's quite sweet to hear.
That's what we like that. That's all working well. And Callum, what's this mean to you?
It's just fun for me, to be
Yeah.
honest. I just it gives me a great opportunity to play with some really talented musicians and kind of express myself in lots of different ways. I get to play bass, I get to produce, and we're just
Mm.
sort of like it's a really fun team group. I really enjoy just the music, start to
But I
finish.
mean, some the releases I think are a bit prolific would cover it, wouldn't it? There's been quite a lot of work coming out over the last few months.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's around the second album release, isn't it, Dale? Because
Yeah, I mean Chris is very prolific. Like he's the one that writes the initial like skeletons of the songs. And and so there's always been a lot for us to work on.
Hmm.
And more recently, yeah, we've released the second album only as a physical product at this point. But we have released the first single.
we're going
We,
to be releasing some more
yeah, and we're
tracks,
going to
aren't
be
we?
releasing some more.
Very
Yeah.
soon.
But yeah, that we've got, we're just trying to do as much with it as we can. So we've got quite a lot going on, just sort of putting stuff out there. And it gives us an opportunity to reflect on previous releases as well. So we're still promoting like the previous album and the previous EP as well, um, which all works together nicely. Um, yeah, so it's good. But we've already recorded in March last year, we already recorded the third album and we were really just working on it. So it's
Is it
like
just
we're
Callum's really slow at producing?
No, well, there's a bit of a life story as well. It's like, I guess real world catches up with you. We got busy at I've got busy at work, particularly me, and I've got a little boy who's about 2.5 years old, and
Mhm.
obviously he's busy too. So making music's not as accessible as it was, but I'm trying doing my best to try and get back to making more time to do that. But it's
Mm.
lucky for the internet, you can have the appearance that you're busy all the time, right? Because you've got these, if you've got ads or posts going live and stuff, because you can schedule them, or just you get the impression that the band's constantly in the studio doing stuff, which I think is quite funny because I see that around me all the time. If I look at other musicians and things and their posts are coming up, you think, are they always in the studio? Don't they work and stuff like that? But anyway.
I mean, we maybe not for the last little while, but we were like constant, like multiple times a week, rehearsing and recording, and
Yeah, especially in
you know,
lockdown when we got together, it was like,
mm.
Live gigs, is that happening much at the moment?
Currently, right now, no, but we've got some things planned
we've got a couple of
in a
gigs in
few
the
months.
in May. We'd like to get busier again, but again, it's all about what life can, how much space we can make to make it happen, and it's
Mm.
also getting the right opportunities because it's kind of like so you can get offered some gigs, and if it's not very well organized, or we have to organize it, and it's not near home and stuff, it can be quite difficult to make it all come together. If that makes sense.
We're
So
expecting a nationwide tour. Come on, you're tantalizing everybody with this work that you're doing at the minute. So we want to see you in real life.
Mm.
we, you know what, if we well, it's the sort of thing we probably should
We
organize.
would love to
Yeah,
do that. We did
yeah,
talk. The thing is yeah, like Chris was saying, sort of other life responsibilities and stuff has kind of got in the way a little bit because we did talk about trying to organize a tour for this
yeah.
summer, but that hasn't really happened because there's been other things going on, and we would love to do that. And so if anybody would like to offer us a
Help,
tour
yeah.
or gigs
It's
or
just all the
whatever,
organizational bits
Yeah,
of it.
there's the work
yeah,
that goes with it. It's not just the turning up, and as an
Yeah.
independent band, it tends to be what you have to do yourself. Okay, then tell us about the look of the band because whenever I just sneak through any pictures, one of you at least is wearing a lumberjack shirt pretty much the whole time. I've definitely got Callum in one at some points, although he's gone for the hoodie look today. There's usually at least one branded t-shirt, and for some reason, Chris, I mean, you're dressed like you should be outdoor in the smoking shelter at the moment.
It's a really good point. I probably could take for the aesthetic of the band. I should probably take my scarf
I
off.
did quite like the
You like
scarf.
the
I thought it was
scarf?
quite cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
bit moody.
But do you have so do you concentrate on the look? I mean, is that something you think about, or are you just comfortable expressing you?
It's a really good question. We have spoken a lot about the look of the band in the past, but we realised that the best thing to do is to wear what we love, really, what we like to wear anyway. And it might mean going out and buying a new t-shirt if you've got a photo shoot coming up or a thing, but it's about just trying to buy the sort of thing you'd wear anyway, so it might be a new version of the thing you'd wear anyway, but we try and make it natural really and organic and sort of like 'cause
Yeah.
we at one point we did think about trying to stylize the band, but then it's weird. It's just it always looks a bit naff. It sounds like you're trying too hard.
Contrived.
Yeah,
Mm.
and you've got to be careful because where does that end up? It's where's the limit on looking natural and looking unnatural and looking a bit too forced and stuff like that.
In the end,
So,
we found the natural overlap of where we all tend to sit anyway, and sort of found what have we all got in common style wise, and we kind of
mm.
just went with that and
Yeah.
made that.
Well, it's like there's a graduation of facial hair as well. Chris through to Jimmy, then Callum, and then really going for it, Dale.
Yeah, yeah.
You pay a lot
The
of
whole
attention to
spectrum.
our look, don't you? This is
I'm just picking up on where we are because we say it's what you share, and these are the things that we see about you online, and that's the joy. You've got control over this these days, haven't you? So you're almost not, making a product, but a product which is has got roots and is meaningful.
Yeah. I think we
yeah.
tried like at the beginning we were a bit unsure, so we went quite generic kind of indie band sort of stuff. And then and then when we did the EP, it was an acoustic EP, so we went kind of a bit more natural. We like all the photos we did like outside, like on a sitting on a log somewhere. Um, and then for Finding Heaven, the second album that's just come out, it was kind of getting to who are we more so as individuals, and how, like Callum was saying, how does that overlap and kind of create the image of the band. And so it kind of, I think that's the most like natural one at that
Yeah,
point.
and it's also, but we realized it was about not trying too hard, but just wear what you
Yeah, yeah.
think's nice and
Hmm.
it's close. If you were going to go out and buy a new T-shirt, what would that look like? And you
Yeah.
just I think about how much you're going to try and buy a nice T-shirt. It goes for that, doesn't it, or
We
something like
can't
that.
compete with
Yeah,
like, what's going on in the current, world of media and music and stuff. Like, a lot of these people that are coming out nowadays are very stylized, and
But
it's
you don't
just
sound like a designer band. I'm not expecting you to turn up in
yeah,
Gucci, but you turn up, an appropriate amount of molding clay in your hair and the t-shirt that you enjoy wearing.
yeah.
yeah,
Well, I'm glad
basically.
that works because that's what we're kind of trying to go for.
Well,
Yeah,
it's then the sound which is the important thing, which only playing a track from you will demonstrate. So, what would you like to share with the world now?
really good question.
Well, I suppose the song that just came out was Happy Morning, but the song that's just about to come out
It's
is Call the
Call the
Police.
Police, and the best feedback we've had online has been from Call the Police out of the two tracks. Although personally, I love Happy Morning, but I think for some reason Call the Police seems to be
Hmm. So
doing getting
why
the
don't we
best
give
reaction.
an exclusive early bird Call the
Yeah,
Police?
We
the
can stick that
first.
on the radio for you. We'll do that now. So we'll sort that one out. Meanwhile, we require for those who are uninitiated all of your socials, please.
Right. So
Dale.
go on,
Well,
Dale. You're the admin guy.
it's either Wesson Music or Wesson Band on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X nowadays. Um, and our website is wessonmusic.com, where you can
And
find
Wesson was because it was available, or because there's meaning to it.
this guy's last name.
But I wasn't
Aha.
don't make it sound like I'm really vain, guys, because what it
You could be worse.
was
You could have
that
been called Mangold Jackson, couldn't you? Really, to be fair.
I pitched it, but no one listened.
yeah, Dale's surname's Parker, which I think is a really cool name. That'd have been good if that. But no, the reason we called it Wesson was because my name's Chris Wesson, and that's what the band. It was a solo project to start with, and then we wanted to be a band, and we'd had it heard a couple of times. We had a manager at the time and someone else who worked with the band, and they all said, "Oh, Wesson would be a really good name for a band." And I wasn't sure, but then the guys all convinced me that they were quite happy to call the band Wesson at the time. So there we
And
are.
it means that when you then have T-shirts printed up for the band, you can send them off for a bulk wash when you're away on tour, and you know they're coming back to you because it's written on the bill at the hotel.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, that's a
Works
good
every
benefit.
time. Well, thank you for joining us for an attic. Keep up the good work. I know you've got a promotional CD which is available just by paying the postage and packing just at the moment. That's a little offer which you can check out online. Meanwhile, have a wonderful time with the music. I know we're all enjoying listening to it. We will now get involved with the police on your behalf. Weston, thanks for joining us.
Thank you
Thanks
very
so
much.
much.
Cheers.
Nice to
Thanks,
meet you.
Jason. Thank you.
Wanna go out, need to clear my head again. Missing out, 'cause you need me everywhere. Anywhere I wanna be, you're controlling me. Help me, call the police. I'm living with a criminal, stealing my peace, leaving me miserable. I try to teach you how to reach a compromise, but you won't try. Forcing a smile's the best way to hide my loneliness. Breaking a sweat, making me choose your clothes to wear. Want us to live in harmony, but we're in a different key. Help me, call the police. I'm living with a criminal, stealing my peace, leaving me miserable. I try to teach you how to reach a compromise, but you won't try. You won't try. Try for me again. Try. Won't you ever learn? Try. to come.